Yo, welcome back to another episode of Please Be Happy. Uh, well, I kind of felt bad that the last one was so short, so I think I'm gonna double up on the upload that comes out tomorrow at 6 a.m. Always PST. Wait, EST. My bad.
Ooh, I needed that break.
The familiar jingle of the bell house doors greet me as I walk in for what could be the last time. Wait, last time? Once Aspen starts working at the new location next week, I won't have much reason to visit this one anymore. The sound of baking bread and brewing coffee, mixed with the clean earthliness of all the plants, is something that I'll miss too. Well, I'm pretty sure the new Bell House will have plants and bread and coffee.
Hey! Welcome to the Bell House! Oh, it's Miho!
Hey, Lena.
She tilts her head over her shoulder to yell back towards the kitchen.
Aspen! Your girlfriend's here!
Yeah, yuck it up, Lena. There's a muffled sound from the back, and a couple of the other patrons turn to look at the source of the shout. Lena ignores them entirely.
She'll be right out.
Thanks.
Lena will also be moving over to the new location when it opens. Aspen told me she got to pick which staff members she wanted to invite to the new store, but she doesn't want Lena to know that. She'd never live it down. Since there's no one else in line, I lean against the counter to talk with Lena while I wait for Aspen.
I was just thinking about how I'm gonna miss this place. It must be like that for you too, right?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much. Maybe I'll miss it when I get there. But why get a head start on that when I've still got another week here?
Good point.
I'm sure Lena and I have different feelings about the Bell House anyway. I have a lot of special, treasured memories here. But for her, it's just part of her routine. Kind of like how the library is both important to Aspen and me, but not in the same way. Aspen herself comes out of the kitchen, carrying a small plate with a strawberry croissant on it. Croissant. I shouldn't make that joke. Lena locks on instantly.
Well, you still got croissants left?
Not anymore. I was saving this one for Miho.
Wow, abusing your powers already?
Yeah, why not? Bro, if your girlfriend's the manager, she'll take care of you.
It's not the first time. Besides, I've noticed we go through blueberry muffins suspiciously fast when you're working the counter.
Oh, dang it. I thought I was being sneaky.
Not sneaky enough, so shh.
Aspen puts a finger to her lips as she hands me the illicit treat.
Wow, it's been forever since I've had stolen food.
It's not stolen. It's just selectively available.
Right. I'm gonna go select something available from the rack myself. See you later, Miho.
Bye, Lena.
Sure enough, she plucks a muffin from the display case on her way to the back of the store. I take a bite of my croissant, getting strawberries and cream all over my hand. It's as messy as it looks. Aspen reaches up and wipes away a dollop of cream from my nose.
Go sit down and I'll bring you something to drink. What would you like?
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to do that.
I want to, though. What do you have?
Well... another foxtail latte, please.
Is that what you guys ended up calling it?
Of course. I don't even have to ask.
It is my drink, after all.
Yes, I'm well aware. And I'll have it right out.
I carry my croissant to my favorite seat by the window and sit down, enjoying the familiar view. It's changed a bit since I first sat down here, half a year ago, but it's still mostly the same on the outside. With only a couple of weeks left until the new year, people bustle about outside, trying to make the best of what's left of this one. Oh, it's gotta be December then. I think I've begun to understand why it's important to people. Why it's worth numbering the years when you'll only get to see so many of them. I spot Aspen approaching, carrying a drink in each hand. I move my plate out of the way to make room for her as she sits down.
Here you are, a foxtail latte for its namesake.
Thanks! It's delicious!
You haven't even tried it yet.
So? I don't need to. I just know.
It has been a hit with the customers too, I must say. More than any of the other beverages I've created. Clearly I have my wonderful muse to thank for that. You've left a mark on this place too.
That's why I get them for free forever, right?
Or as long as I'm working here at least. You know, maybe Lena was a little bit right about me abusing my powers.
Quickly, Miho, engage the puppy eyes.
I won't tell her you said that.
Good.
There's a growing list of things not to tell Lena. Aspen takes a sip of her own drink and looks impressed.
Damn, that is good.
She removes the lid to let it cool, which isn't something I've seen her do before.
What are you doing after this? I'm only on a 5, by the way.
That's fine. I'll probably just head back to the library. I don't have much else to do today.
Jealous?
Why? What about you?
I'm only working half my shift here today. After lunch, I'm going to the new store to help Regina with some final inspections, and then doing interviews for new hires. It's a lot.
You're doing all of that in one day?
There aren't that many days left. We should have been done with hiring already, but one person changed his mind last minute. So now...
She trails off and ends with a sigh, a combination I know all too well.
Well, I could go on, but I won't. Who would have thought opening a brand new restaurant would be so much work?
Although she laughs, I can't help but be a little concerned. Although it's been over a month since Aspen decided to take a break from writing, it's still way too soon for her to be overworking herself again.
Are you sure you're gonna be alright? I mean, you're gonna be this busy until it opens, right?
If not busier, yes. It won't be fun, but I'll manage.
I've heard that one before, you know.
I know. I mean it though. Really. The soft opening is in 10 days. Even after that, there'll be plenty to do. Maybe more than there is now. But eventually things will settle down, and I don't have to sell my soul in the process too. That's the big difference. I can handle being tired. It was the dread and anxiety that I couldn't take.
Compared to before, there's something different in the way Aspen speaks. When she would talk about her writing and how she felt, it was obvious that even she didn't believe the words she was saying. But now I can tell from the light in her eyes that she means it.
Okay. You're pretty determined, huh?
I am. It felt good to make my mind up about something. I want to give it my very best, so that I can feel good when I look back on it too.
Yeah, both you girls are good catches for each other.
Besides, I'd say that growing the new Bell House into Wellington's most popular cafe would be a more than adequate way to be remembered. But I'll settle for it being a hidden gem too.
As long as you're selling strawberry croissants and foxtail lattes, I don't see how it could be anything else.
Hopefully. Word of mouth from the first few days will be very important. If we fail to make a good first impression, then it could be hard to recover.
You're worrying too much. Everyone already loves the Bell House. I'm sure they'll love yours too.
Me? Worry too much? No way.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're probably right. Besides, I have a great team too. With their help, I'm sure it'll turn out okay.
That's more like it. You and Lena are gonna do great.
I can't let her show me up after all, especially as the store manager. Oh god, I really am starting to sound like her.
That's another one for the list, right?
Naturally. Speaking of Lena, I need to get back to work. I'm busy this afternoon, but I'm free tomorrow after work.
I'm always free when you are.
It's a date then.
We say goodbye with a kiss like usual, before Aspen has to leave. I finish up the last couple of bites of my croissant on my own, watching out the window. At one point, even the Bell House wasn't here. I don't know what it was, but it's hard for me to picture it as anything else. At one point, it was just someone's dream, an idea or a half-formed concept. It took a lot to turn that into a little restaurant that I know and love today. For the new Bell House, Aspen will be responsible for the start of its story, for making it more than just a dream. I have a lot of faith in her, though. Aspen's great at stories. Seeing her enthusiasm and determination return is such a relief. Her path forward is clear, at least for now. I'm glad for her. I really am. Still, I can't help but wish I had something like that for myself too. A goal to work towards, or a dream to fulfill. At first, Juliet let me work at the library so I could have some structure to my everyday life, and to get more used to being around other people. That's something I need. That's not something I need as much anymore. I don't mind my job, but the fact that I'm here right now and come and go whenever I feel like it kind of proves that what I do there isn't 100% necessary. Still, it's home. It's a place to go back to while I figure out what's next. So after cleaning up my trash and finishing my drink, that's exactly what I do. At breakfast, Julia and I set up the table and she prepares a place for 3 people like usual.
I forgot to tell you. Aspen won't be here today.
Oh, I see. Is everything alright?
Yeah, she's just busy. She said she doesn't know how often she'll be able to come by until the new Bell House opens.
I understand. She must have a lot of responsibilities to take care of right now.
Mm-hmm. I was worried about how much work she has to do. I still am. But she's pretty confident in herself. So maybe it'll be okay.
It's only natural that you'd be concerned. You care about her a lot. I'm sure she's glad that you worry about her, even when she tells you not to. I have faith in her too. When Aspen puts her mind to something, she's unstoppable. One of my earliest memories with her came from her first visit to the library, when she was trying to find a certain book on the shelves. Only it wasn't there, because I was reading it at the time and had it in my room. She asked if she could borrow it, promising to return it the next day. I told her she could take more time with it, but she stayed up all night reading it and brought it back like she promised. It wasn't a short book by any means either. I imagine she's treating her new role with similar focus and determination, which is why I'm sure she'll succeed in the end.
Yeah, you're right. I can't spend all my time worrying about her. I have to trust her to live her life too. Even though I said that last time, I understand it better this time.
That's good. It can be a difficult lesson to learn.
That's for sure.
Juliet laughs, and then we start to eat. It's a little quiet without Aspen, or even the sound of her silverware, especially since for Juliet having a meal is entirely symbolic anyway. I try to eat fast, just to get it over with. When we finish and clean up, Juliet lingers around the kitchen for a little bit in a way that she means she has something to say. Sure enough, once everything else is done, she clears her throat.
Miho, there's something I wanted to ask you.
Sure. What's up?
Earlier this morning, I saw that I'd received a reply to a message that I never expected to be answered. A couple months ago, I managed to find someone online that I thought might be related to your friend Ying, and reached out to confirm. They never got back to me, and so I didn't mention it to you. But then today, she finally responded and said that yes, they are distant relatives. She said that if you'd like to talk with her, she'd be happy to tell you a bit about Ying, or at least what she knows. Is that something you'd like to do?
Oh. Wow. I guess you wouldn't be shocked that I never even thought about them maybe having a family.
I thought that might be the case. You're welcome to think about it and get back to me later.
In my mind, Chongying was always alone, but with me, they belonged to the forest and to the rest of the world equally. Whoa, the sentence was a little weirdly worded, I feel like. It makes more sense when you read it in your head, but out loud it's weird. But it makes sense that they weren't really alone, that they had people who loved them too. It hits me that there's so much I don't know about Chang'e. Really, I barely know anything. Every minute shared with me only represented a very small part of their life. In a sense, they may as well be a stranger. I'm a little afraid that knowing more about them could change how I feel about them too. But I decide that's a risk I'm willing to take. I'd rather know more about who they really were.
Nah, I don't need to. I'd like to talk to her.
Wonderful. I'll let her know then. I believe she's in America, so our times are fairly different. Shall I see if tomorrow evening would work?
Sure, that sounds good. Thanks. And thanks for tracking her down and messaging her in the first place.
It's my pleasure. It's what I specialize in, after all. I'll let you know tonight if I hear back from her.
Okay. I'm going to see Aspen when she gets off work, but I'll be back sometime this evening.
I'll see you then. Have a great day, Miho.
Have a good sleep.
There's a lot that I'm looking forward to talking about with Aspen today. I set myself up in the library and take care of my chores like usual, but it's hard to think about anything else. The afternoon sunshine draws us to the park once Aspen gets off work. Instead of staying indoors at her apartment or the library, she tells me all about her day at work. And in exchange, I tell her about my upcoming call.
Wow! Juliet's incredible, isn't she? I had no idea she was setting that up.
Me either. It was a total surprise. She said she sent the message a long time ago, though, and it took months before she got a response.
Well, I can certainly empathize with that. At least in this case, the response turned out to be a good one.
Hopefully. I'm a little bit nervous, though.
About what?
Just about what they might say. What if it turns out Chang'e is totally different from what I thought? What if they were actually a terrible person?
Then that would be true whether you knew it or not. They do say ignorance is bliss for a reason. If I were you, though, I would want to know the truth no matter what.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe someday I'll be able to do something without worrying about it the whole time.
If you figure out the secret, let me know. Lena sure isn't sharing it. I think she's somewhere around here too. At least she mentioned that before she clocked out.
Is that why we're here?
Not at all. I adore Lena, but I'll be spending more time with her than without her for the next month. I just wanted to appreciate the fresh air before I forget what it's like.
Put a ton of plants in your bell house too! Did you know that plants help us breathe? I just learned that on TV!
I was aware, but I'm glad for you. Plants are on the list though. I also want to put in a reading corner with a small library for people to browse while they visit. Regina's allowing me to set it up and decorate how I see fit, so I'm being as self-indulgent as I can.
A cafe with a library in it? That sounds perfect for you! Where would you get the books from? Juliet?
I was planning to ask her for some, yes, as well as a few from my own collection, and Lena's, and anyone else who'd like to donate. Maybe Juliet would even let us share books, so you can return them at either place.
How would you keep track of it? Would you hire someone to do it?
Well, I happen to know a certain someone who's very experienced in that position. But no, we would simply have to use the honor system, like Juliet used to.
I still don't get how she doesn't worry about people stealing them. I mean, I do, but I don't.
I think it makes sense. Maybe it's even impossible to steal from a library. After all, they're meant for sharing books. If you take one home and give it to a friend instead of returning it, it still served its purpose. Or if you hold on to it for years and then only return it much later, you still returned it. That's the beauty of books. They can always wait. My New Year's resolution is to get through at least half of my backlog, personally.
Your New Year what?
Resolution. It's like a goal that you set for yourself for the year. And then usually give up on by February, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That sounds neat. Did you have one this year?
I did. It was to finish and hopefully release a book. It may not have come true, but I'm happy with the outcome, all the same.
I should try to think of one for next year myself. Maybe I'll try to get through half my reading backlog too.
Do you have one of those?
Nope. So I'm doing good already. Maybe it'll be to read 10 books. Or 100 books. I don't know what a good number to try is.
Probably somewhere in between. You don't have to make it about reading, though. You don't have to make one at all if you don't want to. Only if it helps motivate you.
I'll think about it. I've been thinking that I need something else to do with my life as it is.
Something else?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the library's fine and all. But I'm not really excited about it the same way you are about the Bell House. Yesterday, I was thinking about how Juliet doesn't need me to help her. She just gave me the job as a favor, even if she said otherwise. I don't really need that favor anymore, though.
You've outgrown it.
Yeah. I have other things I can rely on.
One of them links arms with me.
Always.
Not far away, there's an empty bench alongside the path, and Aspen leads us to it so we can sit down. We've been walking for almost an hour now, so a break is nice. Aspen takes off her hat and sets her purse on the ground between us while I stretch out my legs. We're not the only ones out here enjoying the afternoon. The park's alive and bustling. Bikers, joggers, dog walkers, and skaters all dodge around each other, plus the regular pedestrians like Aspen and me. Some of the dogs even run all around off their leashes, ditching the road entirely. People are playing all kinds of sports too, and I can even tell the difference between some of them by now. I'm still a bit confused on what football is though. I even spot Lena, though she doesn't see us. Aspen pokes me in the side.
Oh, look over there! Think he's lost?
Across from us, a dog is sniffing around. There's a break in the foot traffic around us for now, so I don't see anyone watching him.
His owner's probably around here somewhere. Maybe he ran ahead of them.
The dog looks over at us, like he knows we're talking about him. He takes a couple of steps towards us, sniffing the air with his tail wagging just a little bit.
Oh, come here! Here, puppy!
The puppy, Aspen's right about that, slowly creeps closer towards Aspen's outstretched hand. I sit still, not wanting to spook him. He seems friendly but cautious. 1 step, 2 steps. He never stops sniffing. Then he runs forward, bites the handles of Aspen's purse, and takes off with it. Aspen jumps to her feet.
Hey! Stop! Come here!
The dog doesn't even look back as it runs away, dragging Aspen's purse with it, the contents starting to spill out as they go. I run after the puppy, who's going further into the park, not wasting my shouting breath. I've been running way too much these past couple months. I could transform, but I think that would probably scare him even more. I know better than to chase a dog, but I don't have much other choice. I hope I can just wear him out and then catch him. Glancing back, I see Aspen following behind me, gathering up everything that she can. The puppy also looks back at me every now and then, and changing directions at random. Oh my god, I'm losing my freaking voice. Some of the other people who see us lunge for the dog or try to block him off, he dodges all of them and keeps running. I'm a little impressed. He zigzags again, but this time, it's lucky for me. He's heading straight towards Lena.
Hey, Lena!
She spins around to see me, and I can tell she's trying to process what's happening. The dog is closer to her than he is to me.
Catch him!
Luckily, my words get through. Lena crouches, already warmed up. The puppy sees her and starts to go in a different direction, away from both of us.
Not so fast!
Lena jumps for him and flaps her wings to carry herself even further. She crashes to the ground just in front of the dog, who scrambles over himself to try to stop and turn again.
Gotcha!
I reach them just in time to grab him by the scruff of his neck. He immediately drops Aspen's purse, like a thief who's been caught. Not that I would know. Aspen herself is slowly approaching, her arms full as she tries not to drop anything.
Not quite how I expected to end my workout today.
Thank you, Lena. You're literally a lifesaver.
Lena's such a homie.
Whoa! Aspen said literally! That means it's serious.
I make sure Aspen's purse is safe before I let go of the puppy, who's been tossing and turning in my arms. Aspen walks up and wags a finger at him.
And as for you, hasn't anyone taught you any manners?
The dog walks away from us, but not very far, so he can watch instead. He reminds me a little bit of Silver. I hope he doesn't turn into a person.
I've seen that dog around before. Pretty sure he's a stray. I haven't heard of him taking anyone's stuff like that, though.
Got anything good in your purse?
Not if you're a dog. There's just...
While digging around in her now refilled purse, Aspen stops, and then pulls out a smushed plastic wrapper.
I guess there's the other half of my lunch that I forgot about.
The dog wags his tail and barks in Aspen's direction, and she frowns.
This is what you were after, wasn't it? It really wasn't that good, I promise.
She unwraps the remnants of a sandwich and tosses it to the dog, who gobbles it down just a couple of bites, before looking at us for more. If he's a stray like Lena said, that could be the best meal he's had in days.
That's all I have.
Lena and I are both empty-handed.
What should we do with him? What if he's not a stray and someone's looking for him?
They must not be looking very hard. I've seen him a couple days in a row now.
Poor thing. He seems so friendly when he isn't running off with my things.
I stoop down to try pet him, and he lets me. He even licks my hand a couple of times.
Maybe we can take him back to the library with us. Juliet might know what to do.
Well, she is known for helping strays. I'm not sure how we'd get him back there, though.
I can carry him. He doesn't look too heavy.
Carry him?
Yeah, why not? If he'll let me pick him up, at least.
Just... please be careful.
I will.
I crouch down and approach him slowly, keeping my hand out for him to sniff. I also try to wag my own tail, to help reassure him. Instead of running away, he just flops onto his back, asking for a belly rub. I do that with one hand while I slide the other beneath him. He's so lean that I can see his ribs. Then I scoop him up. He whoops in surprise, but doesn't try to escape. Once I get him situated, he's pretty calm.
That wasn't so bad.
Both Aspen and Lena crowd in to pet him now that he can't get away. He sits there and takes it all in stride.
Okay, he's not that heavy, but let's get going anyway.
All right. I'll text Juliet so that she isn't totally blindsided when we get there. See you tomorrow, Lena.
Later, boss! Later, Miho! Oh, later, puppy!
Still leaning against my shoulder, the dog doesn't mind when Aspen moves his paw to wave goodbye to Lena. Although the dog starts to squirm at one point, I manage to carry him all the way home. He sheds and definitely smells... Oh my. He sheds and definitely smells like a stray dog. I don't mind it too much. You can't help it after all. I'm like losing my voice. Work has been so busy, and I'm like shouting and hollering because of meetings and stuff. I'm also in charge of all the interns. Aspen also holds him a couple of times. For some reason, he's more antsy with her than with me, so her turns don't last as long. When we arrive at the library, Juliet's waiting just inside.
Oh my, isn't he precious?
The puppy thumps his tail against my chest as Juliet comes over to pet him. People just can't stop themselves from doing that, I guess.
Let's take him upstairs.
I don't want to set him down here with the last few library patrons and all the books. Other than his initial chase, he's been pretty calm. But that could change once he's recharged. We all go to my room, where I finally put the dog on the floor. He starts sniffing around immediately, although there isn't that much to sniff. Not much for signs of trouble, but he's good.
I like him a lot more when he isn't robbing me.
He just didn't know how to ask politely.
There's a half-full glass of water on my desk, and I set it down on the ground so the dog can drink some. He slurps up as much as he can. The glass is too big for his tongue to reach all of it.
I'll go fetch a bowl of water and see if we have anything that would be safe for him to eat. And then we can talk about what to do with him.
Aspen sits down on my bed, then I sit on the floor, and the dog walks over to sniff me.
Seems he's already taken a liking to you.
His fur is stiff and coarse, and he's bony. He can't be that old, which makes me think he must have spent most of his short life as a stray. Julia returns soon, setting the water and also a bowl with some banana slices, bread, and a slice of cheese. Can dogs have that? I wouldn't know, I've only had cats.
It's not the healthiest meal, but it should keep his belly full for a little bit.
The dog digs in, like he didn't just eat half a sandwich earlier. The bowl slides across the floor with the force of his munching, and he smacks his lips while he tries to chew the banana. Oh, I'm losing my voice.
Is it okay if he stays here for a while? I'll take care of him. Even if it's just until we find his real owner, if he has one. I don't want to just kick him back out.
Oh, heavens! I wouldn't dream of just tossing him back out on the street. But taking care of a pet, even for a couple of days, is a lot of work. Are you sure?
I'm sure. Whatever it is, I'll do it.
I've only had this puppy around for a couple of hours, but I already know that I don't want anything bad to happen to him. Scrounging for food, stealing, not having anywhere to go back to, they're all things I can relate to.
I don't see why not, then. I'll keep an eye out as well for anyone who may be searching for a lost dog like him.
Thanks. I don't think he has any people, though. I think he's all on his own.
You may be right. Still, we should do our best to make sure.
Right. I'll look out for any posters or missing signs.
After he finishes his meal, the dog flops down by me. He stares at me, but doesn't move, instead fighting to keep his eyes open. Now that he's eaten more, he does seem totally exhausted.
He must be in doggy paradise right now after spending a few days in the park. I know I sure would be.
I look up at Juliet, smiling.
Yeah. I think he'll like staying here.
Ah, alright folks, we're gonna call it there. My voice has given up on me. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode.
Bye-bye.